You are off the clock with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose, happy Monday.
Hey, Trish, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well, thank you.
Good. I
For
was
Monday.
just commenting right before we went live. I'm like yawning. I apologize. I don't know why I'm so tired. I need more caffeine.
Yeah, that's it always helps.
I know. Oh, and there you are with your Diet Coke, like rubbing it in my face. Is there caffeine in Diet Coke? There is,
There,
right?
there is, yeah. There
Okay.
ought to
Is
be
there
anyway.
less caffeine in Diet Coke than regular Coke, or do you know?
To get back to you on that one, I think it's probably about the
Mhm.
same. I really don't know.
It's probably the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, but no, I think what it was I got right up this morning and just had like 10 things I wanted to dive into from a work perspective. And so I did that, and I've only had one cup of coffee. So
Nice. Okay.
I can
Well,
still
good. I'm glad
make
you're
some
cranking
movement.
it out and keeping the engine running, as it were.
Right? I know. I know. Can I tell you something? And we definitely have not talked about this, but so you can shoot down this idea. But I had the news on as I was working, and I'm out here in Colorado, and they had a doctor by the name of Dr. Gregory Charlop, Charlop. Haven't even looked to see if he's on Twitter yet, but he has a book and a whole program coming out called From Soccer to C-Suite, which teaches young women and encourages young women to be involved in sports because there are so many benefits to, having a career in business or being a leader of some sort in your career. So it's
Okay.
this whole tie of both, women, athletics, health, and business. And so anyway, I jumped on, I checked out his website. I certainly have not read the book yet, but I think he'd be perfect maybe on our At Work in America show. But in the meantime, I wanted to at
Cool.
least mention it here because he already has a ton of videos out there. And so if you're listening to this particular broadcast, go check him out. It was From Soccer to C-Suite. So anyway, about how to deal with adversity and teamwork, mental toughness, how to
I dig
bounce
it.
back.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm a big fan of sports, obviously, but also as sports as a metaphor for lots of other things. Sometimes the metaphor stretches a little bit. We used to do a ton of writing, and we did a few ebooks back in the day
Mhm.
on sports and work and things you kind of relate sports to the world of work and the workplace, which is sometimes, I admit, a bit of a stretch because sports, much like say movies or entertainment in certain industries, really don't have as much in common to normal jobs as we'd like them
Right.
to, but sometimes they do. And like teamwork, sacrifice, leadership. Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
dedication. I think there's a lot of parallels you can draw between sports and the world of work for sure.
Yeah, and don't you think even in the regards to, if you never do any sort of team activity, which I didn't, for example, it's like you don't necessarily have that feeling of what it's like to deal with failure as well, right?
Mhm.
Not succeeding, and how do you bounce back, and how do you as a team bounce back from, not winning that big game, right? I'm sure you watched basketball all weekend, right?
A fair bit, yeah.
There were a huge number of upsets and just, different teams where, some of these seniors fully expected to win and then didn't. Like, how do you bounce back from that, right? So you're
Yeah.
learning those coping skills while you're younger, and then when you get into the work world, hopefully you can apply some of those philosophies to your work as well.
Yeah.
So,
Shout
what
out the St. Peter's Peacocks from Jersey City.
in the
My,
world?
my
Yeah.
home state, my place of birth, even Jersey City, New Jersey.
You were
Represent.
born there? I knew you lived
I
there growing up.
was.
You were born there.
Jersey
Okay.
City. Absolutely.
Do you ever see yourself, will you like retire there? Are you going to go like full circle New Jersey? No,
No,
no.
there's no chance of
But our
that.
friend George LaRock is in New Jersey.
It's the Garden State. It's
It is
wonderful.
the
It's
Garden
actually it gets a bad rap. It's much nicer than most think who have not been there. I'll
I
just leave it
think
at that.
that Jersey got a bad rap when Jersey Shore started years ago. That's probably what a lot of people, hey, Midwest Girl, back when that came on, I was definitely thinking it was all fist pumping and Guidos and like the whole,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, there's
stereotype.
some of that. There's some of that.
Yeah, but you know what? Those kids all came over from New York. They weren't Jersey kids. They called it
Really,
Jersey.
I didn't really dig
Yeah,
into
they
their
were all,
background.
no, they were all like Staten Island, whoever, right? They came on vacation to the
Mm.
Jersey Shore. So it was kind of a little bit of a, I don't know,
It's a
not
vacation
exactly
paradise. Absolutely. I get it.
right.
I get why they did it.
But yeah, so I think what people my age might associate with New Jersey isn't actually even New Jersey. So
It's a sliver, right? Like most places, it has a lot of diversity throughout. Like it's environs and locales
right.
and cities and towns and yeah.
Maybe we need a story from New Jersey, something that highlights the state in a different way, right?
Yeah.
Some company that's there, or so anyway, if you're listening, anyone, and you have a suggestion for a story from New Jersey, that'd be fun. Hey, I'm sure you got stuff too. I wanted to bring up one just because it's an Oscar related story. Did you, I know we're both we're ready for the Oscars, right? And one of the hosts, are there more than one host? I feel like I've heard there's more than one host. Amy
Yeah, I think
Schumer,
so.
a couple. Anyway, Amy Schumer has been lobbying to have President Zelensky kind of piped in as a guest on the Oscars.
I kind of think he might have more important things to do,
Right?
maybe.
Okay, thank you. I thought the same thing. I thought, I don't think he's going to be, from war-torn Ukraine, like in a bunker somewhere caring about the Oscars. But I think her sentiment was probably a good one. She was trying to get him more airtime, and the Oscars have such a large audience worldwide. And so I kind of see it. I don't agree with it, but
I don't want to I feel like that's another one of those like kind of celebrity kind of just not really understanding the real world and kind of getting caught up in their own celebrity world. Everybody knows what's going on in Ukraine. It's all over the news 24/7 every day. We don't need more awareness is not the problem right now. There are other problems, and she should maybe not really talk
handle
about
that
it,
differently.
probably.
Yeah, and you know what? The Oscars, our friends at the Oscars politely declined, and said this is not the place for that, and so there will not be a.
Because how do you transition between the president of Ukraine and now best animated short? Like how do you follow that? Something's got to follow that in the telecast. It'd just be awful.
I know. So what do you have going on? Anything from the weekend? Any news?
Trish, I have a news item I'd like to share. Trish, you're a dog person. I know this about you, and you have been forever.
Forever.
Trish, this is a little bit easy, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Trish, recently the American Kennel Club released the top 10 dog breeds. These are the top 10 of the officially registered purebred dogs in the United States. And you can argue about purebred versus other dogs. I don't want to really get into that. Top 10 registered American Kennel Club dog breeds for 2021. Trish, can you guess the number one dog breed, the most registrations through the American Kennel Club in 2021? Which breed? I'll give you a little hint. It's been the number one breed for 31 straight years.
I should know this then, right? Is it the poodle?
It is not, Trish. It is your friend and mine, the Labrador Retriever. Number one.
Really?
Number one for 31 straight years.
I don't know. Big dogs have big doo-doos, so I don't think that should be.
Poodle was number 5, by the way. So
and I wonder, is like a Labradoodle an official breed? No, because that's a blend. Right?
I read this actual entire story. The Labradoodle, the Golden Doodle, some of these more popular kind of
that's why I thought
hybrids are not yet registered by the American Kennel Club.
Okay.
And the reason it said was it's not so much that they're not valid breeds, maybe, but it's just that what the deal with the dog shows and the Kennel Club is they have to define what they call, quote unquote, the standard for the breed. So how tall should it be? How wide should it be? The way it runs, the hair, et cetera, et cetera. And that's how they're judged in the dog shows. And they haven't been able to put that together for some of these hybrid breeds yet. They haven't been able to develop the standard yet. So those are not included. I'll give you a quick top 10, Trish, if you want.
Let's top 10.
Hope number 10, Dachshund.
Okay.
Number 9, German short-haired pointer.
Oh.
Number 8, Rottweiler. Number 7, Beagle. I know you're a fan. Number 6, Bulldog. I believe that means English Bulldog. Number 5, Poodle. Number 4, German Shepherd. Number 3, Golden Retriever. You do see a lot of those around. Number 2, French Bulldog. I'm shocked that's so high. I don't really feel like I see tons of those around.
They got trendy for a while.
And number 1, Labrador Retriever. There you go. Those are your most popular, most registered dogs in the United States, 2021. How about that?
Wow. You know what? My favorite has always been the Pharaoh Hound. I had one, best dog ever. And she's no longer with us, Annie. But the one when I went to the Kennel Club and watched the show, the dog show, my favorite that I saw in person was called the Whippet. Have you ever seen one of those?
Yeah, they're really athletic dogs.
Yeah, it's like a miniature
fast, jump
greyhoundish looking
they're
dog.
cool dogs.
beautiful, and they looked the ones that I saw looked so sweet, like sweet temperament. So
Mhm.
I'm on the bandwagon to get a whippet and make them more popular.
Whip it good.
Whip it good. That's awful. What an awful name for a dog, though, or breed, name for a breed. Anyway, anything else going on? I mean, we're right at the 10-minute mark. You got any final closing thoughts for us on a Monday?
R.I.P. Trish. Recently, a gentleman by the name of Dominic DeMarco passed away at age 85. Trish, you may not know that name, but you may know DeFara Pizza from New York City. It's often cited as one of the best pizza places in the entire country. DeFara
Really?
Pizza in Brooklyn, New York. Dominic DeMarco was the founder of DeFara Pizza, passed away at age 85. Trish, I know DeFara. I've been to the one in New York once in Brooklyn.
Really?
Trish, a little tip for you and to our friends who might find themselves in Vegas during kind of events or other things. Go to the Caesar's Palace food court. It's
And
the
they have
only
it?
outpost of DeFara Pizza outside of New York City. In the Caesar's Palace
Oh,
food court, you can get a slice of DeFara Pizza, cold Pepsi, or whatever you like there. It's fantastic. I almost always make a special trip when I'm in Vegas to go to that
really?
food court
Good.
to have a slice of that pizza. That's how good it
All right,
is.
spell that for us because I'm not sure how you spell DeFara.
D-I capital F-A-R-A. DeFara.
Pizza. All right, we'll give them a shout out and a link in the show when we post it. So that's good to know. Hey, also my final thought for the day is just did you see there was a crash of a 737 China Eastern Airlines?
I did. Sadly, I did see that.
132 people. They have not confirmed, casualties, but obviously it's not looking good. So yeah, just thoughts for them. It's not often that we hear of large airliners crashing anymore. It's just so rare. So it'll be interesting to see what happened. It was in the southern part of China too, which is, I don't know. I guess they could have been over something that was not very populous, but it seems like there would be good, air traffic control over that part of the country. So very strange that it just,
sad news.
yeah, sad news. So anyway, have a good rest of your week, everyone. Thank you for joining us and taking a little bit of a break and going off the clock. And we will be back here on Wednesday.